Yo, 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 welcome to Pitch Report. I'm Mario.
And I'm Amilcar. How you doing today, Mario?
I'm doing well. I'm getting back into the hang of things, just getting back in the time zone.
Yeah,
Feeling grateful for Mr. Leo. Thank you for stepping in and doing probably a better job than I usually do. So shout out Mr. Leo. How are you?
yeah. It's nice to have you back, man. And you're repping your New Jersey that you got now. Tell us
Yep.
about it.
Yeah, I got a Moroccan jersey. Um and it's Brahim Diaz. I wanted Hakimi, but the place I got it only had Brahim Diaz, so Um, yeah, I like it. I was gonna maybe get the white one, but I feel like I have other options for like white jersey, so I just
hmm
wanted to switch it up and
Nice.
just
Why
kind of
did you
give him a
pick
Morocco.
Brahim Diaz or even Hakimi? I thought you were more of the very, very, very tenured or legendary players to get jersey names for. Like Brahim Diaz, I mean, he's good, but I mean, he's very far from legendary. I'll say that.
I mean, well, to that point, Hakimi's I think closer to legendary for maybe like Morocco standards.
uh,
But I don't know. This just spoke to me. It was kind of cool. I actually liked the number. I thought like it completed the look a little bit more. So yeah, it was just kind of cool.
Yeah, that's funny though. I feel like there are some jerseys, and maybe that's one of them, that when it has the player on it, it looks so much better than without it.
Exactly.
And I feel like some national team jerseys, they look very plain because there's no sponsor or anything. So having the number kind of fills in that like little space, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it might be. I kind of like to the no sponsor point. I think that might be it. I am considering getting a Mexican player that's just kind of like whatever. But I mean, good enough to be in the World Cup team, but by no means legendary. And that's Cesar Montes. So I'm thinking of getting him
I
just
wonder why.
yeah. But so I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool. A Montes playing in the World Cup, so maybe.
Nice. Yeah, I guess if there's ever a Casas playing for Spain, I'll definitely have to cop that jersey.
Has
I
there
don't
not
think
been one?
No, I don't think there has been. I'm sure I can look it up. Honestly, I
Okay.
should say it probably has been at some point somewhere, but no one that I could vividly, I guess, even remember. Lopez would probably be easier, like my
Okay.
mom's last name, but Casas probably a little bit tougher. I feel like at least.
Is Casas a common last name in Spain?
Not super.
Okay.
I think it's common like the area that my family's from, just because there's like families there, but not. It's not like a traditional, I guess, last
It's
name.
common in my family.
Yeah, exactly. That's fair. Yeah, 50% of us are
Yeah.
are that. But no, it's not like I don't know what you would like Sanchez in Mexico maybe, or like Martinez or something like that. It's not a typical Spanish last name. But I don't even
Okay.
actually know if there is a typical Spanish last name.
Well, I just googled 10 most common surnames in Spain according to Google Gemini. Uh, Honestly, a lot of them could be Mexican last names
Yeah,
as well. Do you want to just try to guess it?
sure. Is Gutierrez one of them?
No, it is not
No.
there.
The ones I just said: Sanchez, Lopez.
Yes, yes.
Wait, Sanchez is like okay. There you go. I guess there are
Son
a
of
lot of people.
Sancho is what it says.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
that's the Sanchez. Yeah, number 7. Lopez is number 5.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Gosh, I I have no idea honestly. What are the ones?
Garcia's number 1,
Okay.
which is actually my grandmother's maiden name from my dad's side.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Perez, I think that's top 10 for Mexico too. Sanchez,
Mhm.
Fernandez, Gomez, Martinez, and Rodriguez. I said these in like different order,
Different
but
orders, yeah.
yeah,
Wow, that's crazy. I guess it makes sense that they're like Mexican last names as well, obviously,
yeah,
because a lot of people it's like from Spanish descendants. So super interesting,
yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, I remember there were memes when Spain won the World Cup that was like, if we would never gotten like independence in Mexico, we'd be celebrating our first World Cup win.
Oh man, yeah, it's the little things, right?
Yeah.
Before we get started, do you want to tell people about what you were doing out there?
Oh yeah,
Mr. Lewis said
yeah.
you're doing the Lord's work, but can you put a little bit, give us a little color with that?
Yeah, I had the great privilege of being a volunteer with an organization called Venture to Impact, and they partner with different organizations around the world where they usually lean on professionals with different like skills and backgrounds working and usually like corporate companies. And they partner with communities to use those skills. So in our case, we were teaching different like skills for like young adults, like 18 to like 30, on how to like prepare a resume, how to apply for jobs, and how to like maybe create a business plan. There was like different topics that different mentors taught. And like the students were very prepared already. So we were just kind of like bridging some of like the knowledge gap that might exist. Honestly, it was like questions that I had even like going into college or out of college, like what should I do, or like how should I like be looking at this like issue, or like, just like at a high level, it was kind of like that, which was really cool. And the program was in Morocco, hence like the Morocco jersey. I'm yeah,
You
and
didn't just go there to buy the jersey, come back, but it was actually in Mexico.
yeah, exactly. So, and it was cool since I was not forced, but like I was there for a longer period of time. Usually, when I travel, I kind of fall victim to trying to go to multiple different cities and try to go to 2 or 3 different countries in like 3 weeks or 2 weeks. And this gave me the opportunity to just be in a single place. I feel like I got a really good sense of, or a better sense of what like Morocco is. I got to move around different regions like after the program, so I got to kind of experience it a little bit more. Some observations from like the like football soccer perspective is that they really like soccer and football. It's like huge there. Like soccer fields everywhere. You'd see like any random field, there's like goalposts with no nets. So like if you miss like and you take a strong shot, like you are running for a while to get that ball. Everyone's wearing soccer jerseys. It did make me realize how not big soccer is in the US relative to like other places in the world where people are just like obsessed with it. I would say 80% of kids 12 and younger were wearing some sort of soccer jersey most of the time. And even a lot of like guys our age and older had soccer jerseys, or like the track suits. They would wear like the full like the warm-ups. A lot of Real Madrid, a lot of Barcelona, a lot of PSG. Those were like, and then you'd see like others as well, but those were the main ones. I saw a good amount of Messi as well. So yeah, it was kind of cool.
Nice. And then you traveled a little bit after, right?
Yeah. Afterwards, I went to like the desert. So I traveled east, like kind of going towards Algeria, to like the Sahara desert, and like got to like ride a camel and go on like the sand dunes and do all that cool stuff. So yeah, it was fun. I took some pitch report stickers, and I took some you are here pictures. So we'll have to maybe share them in the next post for this episode.
Yeah, it was all field research. Let's be honest.
Exactly. Yeah,
that back half of it.
Yeah, scouting report for the 2030 version of the pitch report coverage for the World Cup.
Oh yeah, because it's going to be there, right?
Yeah,
it's Morocco, Portugal, and Spain, right?
Yeah, exactly. So just already thinking ahead.
The crazy part is the country's probably prepping. Like that's how long it takes for them to get all these things. Like they're probably building stadiums and kind of getting all the logistics for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, it would make me want to try to go again or go back, especially with the prices of the World Cup here. I'm hoping it'll be more affordable.
I know that's definitely been some drama. I feel like the last couple of months, and it seems like in some cities the prices have kind of come back down to earth. Like I think I was seeing something in Kansas City, they dropped like 60% all the prices, but I think in LA they're still super high, and a lot of the resellers are kind of getting screwed. Like I think you said some quote when Ronaldo didn't go to Mexico, right?
Yeah, it was like se la mamaron los revendedores or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, a lot of them are like I said, coming back down to reality, but they're still super expensive. So I think I share the sentiment with you about kind of not holding out. I'm definitely going to try to go to a game or two here, but really realistically thinking about that next World Cup, and hopefully it'll be much cheaper. I'm sure you can get a flight, a hotel, and a ticket, and it'll still be cheaper than some of the tickets that they're selling here in LA.
Yeah, it's like trying to watch Taylor Swift in the US.
It's crazy how many people were doing that. They're flying to France or flying to like Argentina and all that stuff. Yeah. You're like, all these Taylor Swift fans never thought they'd be into finance until all of a sudden they're trying to figure out like, let's see the exchange. Do we have anything we can do here?
Oh man.
Yeah, so safe to say that has been kind of crazy. Something that hasn't really changed much, unfortunately. I guess it has been SDFC, man. Since you were gone, the 2 weeks you were gone, I think they lost or they tied both games. They were really really good matches, obviously, but against really good teams where we should have won, but ended up tying, unfortunately. Which was and the last one was the LAFC one. But then we got a little bit of a midweek pick me up against
Yeah,
Austin. We thought maybe the ship was turning. 5 goals. Hadn't had that in a while. 1-5-0, and then back to old
back to our old
back to our old ways against Cincinnati on Saturday, where we tied 3-3. How are you feeling about it? Did you get to follow it when you were out there, or was the time change kind of crazy?
I didn't get to watch the games, but I was following the scores,
Mhm.
and it was a welcome improvement in my book because when I left, we were losing everything. We just could not
Against
win.
bad teams too, not even good ones.
Yeah. So so the fact that we tied, I thought we were going to lose 3-0 against LAFC,
Mhm.
but it's kind of coincided with LAFC also not doing too well recently. So and we were winning 2-0. So I think that's kind of been the through line where we just can't hold on to games
Yeah.
later on. But I was honestly pleasantly surprised that we even tied and that we've been just getting points recently. Were you at any of the games?
Yeah, I went to the LAFC game. Same thing. I think we talked about it a little bit in the last podcast where it was you kind of thought of, okay, they're up to, or I guess walking to the game, you're like, all right, I just hope we don't lose by that much. That was kind of the thought process going in. We're probably going to lose. Let's just keep it, something reasonable, lose by 1 goal, 2 goals maybe. And then we're up 2-0, oh, hell yeah, we're going to win this game. We're cooking, And then we tied the game. You're just what? You're just what the heck just happened? It just made no sense. We went from 80th minute, 2-goal lead to all of a sudden 20 minutes later, we end up tying the game, and that felt more of a loss for us. Where for LAFC, it felt like a win, because they were down 2-0. Yep, we got this. Didn't get to go to the Austin game, but I watched it, which was nice. A lot of really really good playmaking, which was very welcome because a lot of the finishing has been a little bit suspect. And then the Cincinnati game, I made it to the second half of the Cincinnati game because I had to be in LA for part of the day, and I just buzzed back and made it for the second half. We had to leave it a little bit early because my sister had to work an overnight shift, but we left and it was 90+6, and I saw it was tied, and then the fireworks went off. I was like, oh hell yeah, we scored a goal, 3-2. I was like, finally something's on our side. Usually we're the ones giving up goals. Finally we won. This is so exciting. We're going to be in a 2-game win streak. And then I get to the car and I open up my phone. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I was like, how do they score in the 90+8? Dude, it was so frustrating.
Dude, okay, I was watching that game on TV and we scored. We went up 3-2. Was it 95 with 45 seconds? No, with 15 seconds left in, before the full 6 minutes of added time, we're up. I also missed a Cincinnati goal because I was like, oh, nice, cool. I stood up to stretch or something or grab a drink from the kitchen, and I walked back to sit down. Literally, what felt like 30 seconds later, and it's 3-3. I was like, wait, what? And then the game's over. I had to watch the replay after the fact to kind of even see what ended up happening.
Dude,
So,
all
yeah.
you could do is just kind of laugh at this point. It's just they're finding ways to lose, kind of. When you're up 1, you're like, all right, let's defend with everything. We have maybe a minute, 2 minutes max. Bring everyone back, defend. It's just been so irritating. It just reminds me a lot of the Chargers and kind of people saying oh, same old Chargers charging. And it's almost now that's become the SDFC thing this season, where they're just it seems like a lot of mental stuff in the last bit of games where they're giving up, taking their foot off the gas and giving up last minute goals, man.
I feel like we kind of front loaded our luck last year because we had more things go our way, and then this year we just can't really catch a break, and we're giving up very last minute goals against LAFC, then against Cincinnati. All in all, I mean, I think 2 points within the playoff zone heading into almost a break. If we get a win and LA Galaxy lose next weekend, we'll be in playoff zone, and there's still a lot of soccer to play this season. But I don't. I feel like um. I feel like what do I feel like? I just lost my train of thought. I'm just jet lagged. But I had a different question,
A
anyways.
little rusty, Mario.
Yeah, a little rusty. But more important for the Cincinnati game, did you get a Anders Dreyer bobblehead?
I showed up late, but Tamara did. So I do have an Anders Dreyer bobblehead over here. But dude, I showed up at halftime. There was people walking around with like 7 of them, leaving the game, 8 of them. Like people had bag loads of them. I'm like, what is going on here, man? And then one of Adrian's friends was there, and he saw on eBay they were already going for like $50 on eBay within minutes of the game. I'm like, should have just bought a bunch of tickets. They were probably some like nosebleed seats, super cheap, and just started like hoarding all these bobbleheads.
Oh man,
It is really big though. It's
Really?
like a very large bobblehead. Not like the Padres ones, where some of them are a little bit more like kind of stationary because it has a little cart with it. So it's just like this whole thing.
Is it like maybe 2 regular Padres bobbleheads?
I mean, well, let's just do it right now. Hold on, stand by.
In the meantime, let's see if I remember what I was going to say.
What?
Oh, what I was going to say before was I do feel like San Diego FC is starting to play a little bit better. They're being more competitive, and I think it'll be a good matchup this upcoming weekend against Vancouver, first place in our division, to see how we stack up. And like if we actually are maybe turning a corner, or if we end up kind of going back to what we've been going through, where we just weren't really able to win.
Guys, things like jammed in there.
All right.
It's a live unboxing, man. I feel like
Yeah. You got to give us more descriptions of Amilcar.
I know. Look at this thing.
Wow.
Like, this is the size of my hand.
Does it make any sounds? How heavy is it?
It bobbles. It bobbles
Okay.
the head. Yep, I would say, probably like half, maybe like a pound and a half, maybe. Like, what other description do you want? It's very dense.
Okay.
It doesn't bobble quite as much as you think it would bobble. It's kind of like hard to bobble it. But yeah, all in all, very cool. But I would say it's probably the size of 2 bobbleheads.
Okay, cool. Does the little ice cream box open?
No, it does not. It's just all stationary. The only thing that moves is the head. So
very cool.
There you go. Anders Dreyer bobblehead. Very exciting. Pumped. Hopefully there'll be more of them. I think this season this is the only one, right, that they're doing.
I'm not really sure about the giveaways, to be honest.
Yeah, it's reminding me of when the Padres gave away that puffer vest. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah,
like people were like fighting
nice
for them.
Yeah,
and they were there. Those were going for like $80-$90 when you're on like eBay or on Facebook Marketplace. Just like people always looking to flip some merch.
I mean, credit to the Padres that those actually like look like you bought them at the store. There's not like a giant like Sequan logo across the vest or something. Like it's a little bit more discreet. So it's something you could like actually wear out.
Yeah, no, that was a good giveaway, and I think I will say the one of the best giveaways that I've been to was the SDFC for like the inaugural game where they give like a really nice scarves.
Oh yeah,
like the first game where they weren't like the flimsy one, they were like actually legit like cotton or whatever scarves. That was what I thought was one of the coolest, like the best quality giveaways, I guess.
Isn't it the one you don't have that one up there, do you?
No, I have the inaugural match one, but
Okay, yeah.
that's the one that I use when I go to the games. I
Okay.
usually end up wearing that one, but maybe next time I'll bring it on. But if people were there, the inaugural match, you have one.
Yeah, I do.
we all got them, so that was cool. But anyways, like you were saying about Vancouver, I will say they're playing better. They play good against good teams, bad against bad teams. And let's just hope that we can play another tactically good match. And similar to what we were saying last week, I think not let the foot off the gas, keep pushing, keep attacking, and try not to give away these goals. Because I was actually doing the math and looking like if we hadn't lost those games, last minute goals, we'd be in like 5th place. And just the last 2-3 results that could have flipped because there was like 2-3 minutes left in the game and we gave up a goal. From like 9th to 5th place, that's massive difference. So it also goes to show how close things are right now, I think. So a good 2-3 game win streak can jump you up a lot in the rankings.
Yeah, we'll see how we come back from the break. So like we mentioned, there's still a lot of season left. So I'm feeling confident that this team should make the playoffs and maybe be somewhat competitive. But yeah, Hopefully,
probably not going to have home playoff games, but maybe, I would say also when you're playing from the bottom, is house is money. You're just like, all right, let's go. We have no pressure. Let's just go and try to get something done, and try to salvage the season, and let's see what comes next season. And I hate to be talking about next season where we're like not even halfway through the season. But no, the boys played well, and like I said, it's more tactical. It looks a little more put together. There was no free Chucky, airplanes flying around this time. So on the bright side, we got some positives that we're looking at. And like, I guess not to transition to someone that doesn't have positives, which I can definitely speak about, was Real Madrid. It's just like pretty much just like taking L's, whether it's on the field, off the field. The president, the coach, the players, like everyone seems to be taking L's on Real Madrid the last couple of months. And the Clásico was no short of that. Took a huge L, 2-0. Honestly, I'm kind of glad it was only 2-0. It was 2-0 within like 30-ish minutes.
Yeah.
They had scored both goals. When I was watching, I was like, all right, here we go. It's going to be 4 or 5. It's going to be one of those games where the Barcelona fans just will come back years later. Like when we lost that 5-0 match, I still hear about it on like in social media where it's like losing 5-0 or things like that. So that's what I thought was going to happen. Thankfully it wasn't. And it was just 2-0. But at the end of the day, it was still a loss. Barcelona won La Liga. So congratulations, Mario. What were your thoughts? How are you feeling? How are you feeling about it?
I mean, I'm feeling good. I'll take it. No Champions League, but I'll take two Ligas. 2 Ligas that Real Madrid couldn't get.
Such a Barcelona comment. Who cares about the Champions League? Like, it's only the best team in Europe. Come on, La Liga's where it's at. It's consistency. 30 plus weeks of consistency. That's what really wins.
No, I love the Champions League. I'm saying it's a nice consolation prize.
Oh wow! Now you're going the opposite end of the spectrum and calling La Liga a consolation prize, Mario. Wow. I can't even engage you anymore.
We were able to win something that Real Madrid wasn't able to. So that's the silver lining I see in it. And I mean, yeah, La Liga is a good accomplishment. Supercopa de España, I'll take that too. So we'll do domestic double. Will do for us. It was nice seeing Marcus Rashford scoring. What I probably liked even more was his interview afterwards. I was listening to it and I was like, he sounds like he doesn't speak English as his first language. And then I read the comments and everyone was saying that. They're like, bro, why does he speak Spanish? Or like, why is he speaking English? The
interview was in English?
Yeah, the interview was in English.
Oh, I thought it was in Spanish, and that's why I thought he had just learned Spanish so well that it was like, damn, everyone's like, dude, I forgot he was British.
No, he he literally sounded like he was like a Spanish player being interviewed in English. You should look it up.
Hanging out with that crowd a little too much.
No, but people are like giving him like credit. They're like, oh, he's really leaned into like learning the Spanish. It was just like really funny because like I was thinking in my head, I was like, why is he talking like that? And then like in the comments, everyone was like saying the same thing.
That's honestly the best feeling when you're like thinking about something. You're like, oh, dude, like someone else has had to have thought about this. And you go in the comments and like everyone's talking about it. Like, yeah. You're like, nice. So yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, it was not a great match, but celebrated La Liga. So what can we do? At the end of the day, another disaster for Real Madrid. A second year in a row without any sort of trophies, which is not something that you usually see from a Real Madrid or a Barcelona for that matter. Yeah. So it seems like we're going back to a full rebuild, trying to figure out what we're going to do for next season. Seems like a lot of players are probably going to leave. But funny, you were mentioning Marcus Rashford. Like they're trying to figure out if they're even going to be able to keep him because I think his buyout clause is like $30 million or something like that. And Barcelona is like trying to balance the books. Yeah. So they're really trying to do my money's my savings, trying to move it to my checking so I can try to pay these things off.
I mean, I'm not sure if Manchester United necessarily needs him or wants him back. So yeah, I'm curious if
they need those 30 million.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my god!
But on your note of like rebuilding, and Mr. Lee also brought some points where he was like, everyone can leave. I think he mentioned Valverde, Cubarsí, and I think
Cubarsí. If Cubarsí ever becomes a Real Madrid player, that'd be nuts. That'd be like a Figo situation.
No. Who am
I'm just busting your balls.
The Turkish guy.
Yeah, Guler.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry. And he mentioned one other player that he's like, everyone else can leave. Do you?
Courtois, I think you said.
Yeah, Courtois. Yes, yeah. What do you think? Is there anyone you're hoping that leaves, or do you have any specific preference yourself?
That's the hardest part. I think whenever we have a bad season like this, and I know there's going to be a lot of shakeup, it sucks to have to see people leave because you kind of like end up really liking some of the players. The situation that I think needs to get figured out, and we'll see if it does, is the whole Vinny and Mbappe situation. It's like I think in order for them to be successful, kind of in my opinion, they have to pick. It's either Vinny or it's Mbappe. Both of them, it seems like, just can't play on the same team. Just as there's not enough balls to go around, they just don't play well together. It's just too much, too much ball control. And that's what I think needs to get figured out. But that's also a really hard one because if you let Mbappe go, you're letting arguably the best player in the world, one of the top, 3 or 4 best players in the world go. And if you let Vinny go, same situation, maybe slightly lower than Mbappe, but he's a homegrown talent basically, so it's someone that's been there for a long time, won Champions Leagues, and stuff like that. So that's kind of the frustrating one that I'm not knowing what's going to happen there. But at the end of the day, I think they really need to just bring in some defenders. That's the biggest thing that they got to figure out, because I think the defense is really not cohesive at all. And I know that there's been a ton of injuries. So, but I could really see probably like Camavinga probably leaving, Tchouaméni maybe as well. I would hate to see Valverde leave, even though the whole fight and everything was his fault.
Yeah.
Like he's just been there since he was young, and like homegrown talent. And I don't know, you'd hate to see it for one thing that they did wrong to, end up having to leave. But when they bring in new players, people got to go, and like it was kind of sad when Casemiro left to Manchester United, but I mean, ended up working out, I would say, because after that, he kind of fell off a little bit.
Yeah,
he's regained his form. Yeah, I was going to say, he regained his form this year and like towards the end of last year. But he was kind of had like for those basketball, fanatics, like the Luka Doncic, where he was like kind of chubby, and he seemed like he kind of had like, he was like a little bit bigger, wasn't really moving that fast. And then this year, I don't know what kind of diet he went on, but he was kind of like went back 5 years.
World Cup year, baby.
Yeah. Honestly, that might be what it is. He's like, Ancelotti, he's like, I really need to be on this team, man. So like, I got to actually get it done. So I mean, I guess I didn't really answer your question with who I want to see stay and leave, but no matter what it's going to be, I think there's going to be a massive overhaul. I think we already saw today, Danny Carvajal announced he's gone. And which I think was already expected.
Yeah.
But he's been there since he was, who knows how old, like in, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, starting playing soccer. Kind of reminds me of when Sergio Ramos left to PSG, similar kind of situation.
Yeah. Now the proud owner of Sevilla too.
I know. Yeah. Which is kind of nuts to kind of go back home for him and, be part of the ownership group.
And that's a big team to buy, like in terms of like Spanish football. It's like he didn't just buy like I don't know, like a small team like Oviedo or something.
Who are you gonna say, Mario? Oh, Oviedo, all right. I was just waiting. I was like, who are you gonna piss off today? No, but I will say it's kind of crazy to think, like, I think the purchase price was 400 million euros. I want to say around that ballpark. But crazy to think that you could buy the 4th, if not 5th, anywhere around there, 4th or 5th best team in La Liga, which is one of the better divisions in the world, for $400 million. And you think of maybe what the worst football team is, probably $1 billion, $1.5 billion. Like what?
Well, for the price of one Shohei Ohtani, you could probably get like 2 teams in Spain.
Actually, though, yeah, the Dodgers could buy like half the league if they wanted to.
With what you're paying Shohei Ohtani, you could get Sevilla and what? Maybe Betis? Maybe.
Honestly, you probably could. Yeah, that's like 700 million. You could probably easily do that, which is kind of nuts. That's what I mean. Like, it's just crazy to think how different things are. And I wonder if it's just American sports maybe are just more inflated than European sports are. Maybe European sports are going for a profit. But then again, I don't think so, because when you see the EPL stuff, I think there's like 2 teams that turn a profit and then everyone else loses money. So makes you think, I guess, also on the flip side, maybe it's a conversation for a different day, but like, what's the incentive to buying a team if you're, not making money? Are you just kind of hoping that the valuation is going to be higher and just buying for appreciation versus actually buying for profitability? So maybe a topic for a different day.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of interesting case studies we can for sure look at.
Wow, Mario, look, does one business course, and now he's like, let's do a case study. Let's assign the viewer some homework, Mario, while we're at it.
Hey, I need to try to stay on your level, Amilcar, soon to be MBA.
I know. Soon to be, I'll forget everything about cases in about a month. I won't even know what a case is after this. But we'll turn over to the last thing that I wanted to kind of cover today, which is we talked a little bit about kind of the changes, but there's a head coaching carousel going around, man, and it kind of reminds me of when people get fired. They call it like Black Monday in the NFL, like the Monday after the last game of the season, everyone's getting fired and stuff. We had a couple big announcements in the last week, so we'll start off with the first one, which is my guy Xabi Alonso being named Chelsea's head coach. Got a 4-year contract, and obviously we saw his last stint was probably forgettable for him, but was at Real Madrid for maybe 3 months, 4 months ish. Disastrous in terms of the PR, I would say, but not in terms of the on-field production. I say PR because everyone, if you ask someone, they thought it was like the worst season Real Madrid had. But when you compared it to other coaches in their first, 10, 15 games, he had the most points out of maybe the last 10 coaches that had come by. So I think it's all just PR, but unfortunate for him, but now going to be Chelsea's head for their project, and they're not shy to spend money. So what do you think about that?
I mean, first of all, now whenever I hear like a 4-year contract or whatever your contract, that means just how much they're going to get paid for. It means no guarantee that you're going to
especially in Chelsea. Like, I feel like they're probably paying like 6 managers right now.
Yeah, they probably are. Yeah, like it just means the compensation that they're getting, kind of like their Chucky Lozano type of deal.
Ugh.
If we want to go like close to home. Yeah, with Xabi, when he was fired earlier this season, I didn't really think he was doing that bad. Like they were still like in La Liga, like Champions League was still going well. I think maybe Real Madrid just figured they had a better chance at winning these tournaments they were still in if they made a change sooner than later. But yeah, I think from a head coaching standpoint, maybe it was like his sophomore slump. He had a lot of success with Bayern Leverkusen, and I think with Chelsea, he'll probably have some success too. It's a team that I think is like 10th in the Premier League right now, so they're not doing great. But, like in a simple sense, I think they'll be just more willing to like listen to him, which I feel like was maybe not the case at Real Madrid, where people were, like he just didn't maybe command as much of like the locker room.
Yeah, and I think at Real Madrid, I think we talked about this in the podcast prior, but Real Madrid, you're more of a manager, just kind of like managing egos, managing people. Like everyone kind of knows how to play already. You're not gonna teach anybody anything. But at Chelsea, not that they're not managers either, but I think they have a younger team too, which I think is definitely more conducive to someone that's more open to learning and kind of tactically. So I think it's probably going to work out, hopefully for him. And he's going back to the EPL. He hasn't coached there, but he's played there, so he knows the system. I will say I'm a little bit, I don't want to say disappointed, but I'm a little bit surprised that Liverpool wasn't where he ended up coaching, and that he ended up taking this Chelsea job. My assumption is that he probably got told that job wasn't either going to be available, or they were going a different way. Because I don't know why you would go for Chelsea when Liverpool's a potential out there, because I think there's rumors that Arne Slot's going to get canned at the end of the year.
Yeah, Mo Salah definitely made it known he's not a fantasy. Was on his way out. But I think the Chelsea team profile is more similar to Bayern Leverkusen, so I think it'd be easier for him to replicate the success he's currently had. Obviously, Chelsea's probably a bigger team in its own league than in actually I'd say pretty similar profile in terms of semi-recent success.
Yeah, but in terms of like if we're talking about profile, like in clout and how big the club is, I think you're probably not even remotely close, right? Leverkusen to Chelsea.
Oh yeah,
Chelsea,
of course. Yeah, I meant like relative to their respective leagues.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I mean, yeah, I think it depends. I think if you go maybe when was Chelsea really big? I guess it was when Mourinho, Drogba, like was that 15 years ago?
20 teens, yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's been a while.
Drogba. I mean, they won the Champions League. It was just like not a very like exciting season, but they ended up beating Man City in the Champions League final. I think it's like 1-0 back in 2019. But other than that, it wasn't like a very like big season, I guess.
Yeah, I think ever since the ownership change, there was a big drop off, and that was what, probably 3-4 years ago,
Yeah.
maybe
Hope
5.
hope that's not what it is in store for the Padres.
Oh gosh, I know. Hopefully not, but
Yeah.
fingers crossed. But yeah, so wishing them luck. Hopefully it'll be a good situation there. Another really exciting one. Depends on what what you determine as excitement, but I think they have almost. I think Fabrizio Romano has officially said that here we go, and that's when you know things were actually official. But that José Mourinho is going to be coming back to Real Madrid. As someone who is not a fan of Real Madrid, what are your thoughts from the outside, I guess, looking in on something like a coach like that coming to Real Madrid?
I think it's a great choice right now. 'Cause Real Madrid, I think, has a lot of big personalities in the locker room right now, and I think with Mourinho, you're bringing in the biggest personality. I think he's someone that just like does not care to hurt people's feelings. He will speak his mind,
Mm-hmm.
and from like just like my perception of him is that he's a total dog. Like he will do anything, whatever it takes to win. He does not care to. He knows how to play with the media. He knows how to manage a team like that. He knows how to be in the spotlight. He doesn't care making headlines of I did stupid things, or I said stupid things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a pretty good situation in the sense of right now we just need something different, and this is definitely different. And he's a coach that's been successful, not very successful at Real Madrid, I would say, but very successful in other places. I am curious about you because I remember way back in the day when Mourinho first came to Real Madrid, you were very excited, if I remember correctly, because he was coming off winning like Champions League with 2 different teams,
Yeah.
and then I think you weren't a big fan of him after the fact. So how do you feel about it now?
Yeah, I think the big thing with that team that he took over, I mean, they were going against the Messi, Suarez, Neymar. Like I would argue probably the best Barcelona, and some people will say the best club side that has ever existed, right? In those handful of years, I think he was there 2010 to 2013, so that was the peak of Xavi, Busquets, Iniesta, like the whole Spanish team. So he was able to finally break that run of La Liga titles. He never made it to the Champions League final, or even not even the final. We kept getting knocked out against Bayern Munich, and that was when they had our number, probably back-to-back years in the semis and the quarters. The thing that I didn't love about him is that, like everything you said, I think is spot on. He's a very polarizing figure, I think, and he was very big in like driving a wedge between Barcelona and Real Madrid. So much so that the Spanish players on both teams, like he drove a wedge between them as well. So like Iker Casillas and Gerard Piqué, they like couldn't stand each other, hated each other, and I think that almost poured into the national team.
Oh,
and I want to say, feel like that's why we had that dip after the 2010 World Cup. Not the Euros, but like after into the next World Cup where we just couldn't perform. There was just a huge divide between the Real Madrid Spanish players in Spain and the Barcelona Spanish players on the Spanish national team. So that I didn't love, but I think right now that's probably what they need. They need that fire and someone to come in and just, light things up. And I love what you said about just like he's like the personality, you're like, hold my beer. You think you've done it? Like, no, I got this, which is good because some of these players, I think they don't need to be that in the media, right? Like if your coach is that guy that's going to do all these crazy things, then your team can focus on football. They can focus on playing. They don't have to worry about, the media and the media saying this about me, that about me, or all that stuff. So we'll see. Jury's going to be out for a little bit. I mean, he has a 2-year contract, but like you said, that is essentially irrelevant. It's just how much patience they're going to have with him. But I think right now it's exactly what Real Madrid needs. They need someone to just come in here, shake things up, and make sure the players aren't running the team, and there is a coach and presidents and all that stuff that are running the team. So right now, I feel like the team thinks that the players think they're running the team, and that's where we're having a lot of issues.
Yeah, and as a Barcelona fan, I am a little not excited because he does kind of boil your blood, and I do like Mourinho, so I do think it positions Real Madrid to be successful. At least, if anything, when we play like each other, Champions League we'll see, but I think at least when they play each other. But with the hiring, it did make me think of some of my favorite like Mourinho quotes. So I just pulled up a few. So there he had like his press conference where he like said that he was like a special one. He
And that
said,
stuck, literally.
yeah. He said, "Please do not call me arrogant because what I say is true. I'm European champion. I'm not one out of the bottle. I think I'm a special one." And then
And now he's the special one.
yeah. And then another one, he was defending his status, and he said, "I'm not a specialist in failure." And then one on reality versus magic. He said, "Look, I'm a coach. I'm not Harry Potter. He is magical, but in reality, there is no magic. Magic is fiction, and football is real." But my absolute favorite one, though, is he was when he was coaching Tottenham, he got a red card. He was like ejected, and basically he after the game he's being interviewed, and he said, "I was rude, but I was rude to an idiot," referring to the coach.
A little backhanded slap.
Not to the coach, to the referee that ejected him.
Dude, that's so funny. It kind of reminds me of like Jim Harbaugh. I don't know how much you follow the Chargers, but he also says some like off the wall stuff, not as like in the same vein as what Mourinho is a little bit more cocky, but just like random stuff. You're like, how are you connecting football to this random story you're telling us? Like, what?
But characters like that are fun. You need some of that. At the end of the day, like it's entertainment, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah. So at the very least, they'll put butts on the seats, and like you said, hopefully it'll not that the rivalry needs to be reignited, but I do like watching a Clásico that's very, very hard fought, intense, aggressive. Like I think that's what I miss about the Clásico. We had a little bit of it this year, but I feel like years past it was just more chill and more passive and stuff like that. And it's like I feel like we lost the fire, you know, the passion of like we really despise each other, you know. It's like we're being too friendly, you know. So hopefully he'll reignite that again.
Yeah, I think the odds are high, I would say.
Awesome, yeah, exactly. And then honestly, the one that might be coming up next is Pep. I think there's growing thoughts that this is going to be his last year, and the EPL is going to end this next week. So we'll see if he ends up actually leaving. But that's someone's shoes that good luck to the next guy. Like, I don't know who's going to come in and fill those shoes at that team.
Yeah, he's had an amazing run. I think 6 Premier League titles in 10 years. Honestly, the only person that really compares to him was maybe Sir Alex Ferguson. I think he had like 13 in like 23 years or something. So kind of similar ratio.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm guessing he's not going to do anything for a little bit, right?
I would think so, because it seems like the only teams that really have coaching availabilities is going to be in England, and I really do not see him going anywhere in England ever. So we talked about a little bit last time about what potentially his next steps could be, but I think national team coach is probably the next thing. In terms of if you pick Spain, De La Fuente just got there last Euros where they won, and now if he does well in the World Cup, it would be kind of him having to step down. It's not going to be the Spanish Federation firing someone.
Yeah.
So maybe he just needs some time off. Maybe he pulls to Zidane and just says, "I'm just going to wait." You know, like Zidane waiting for the France team. Maybe he's like, "I'm going to wait for the Spanish national team," or maybe he does want a challenge, right, Mario? What's the biggest challenge of world football national team wise, Mario?
Team USA?
Team USA, baby. Imagine.
He's not doing that.
Oh man, I thought it was either gonna be USA or Mexico. That's where I was going for what you were gonna say. But imagine like crazy world if he all of a sudden was like, I'm gonna go to the US. Probably not.
I mean, he could go to Mexico. He played for the Dorados de Culiacan, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, for like maybe a season or half a season. So he actually did play in Mexico.
So if he ends up going, you heard it here first, on May 18th. He hasn't even left the team yet, and we already know his next landing spot. So. But we'll see. I think probably by next week, the next podcast we do, we'll probably have some sort of idea, because they're definitely gonna do a farewell for him in the last game if he ends up deciding that. He doesn't seem like the guy that wants this whole little tour of, I'm gonna leave at the end of the season and do this, a bunch of stops at different games and stuff. But I think they'll definitely do a farewell. So we'll see. Tune in probably Saturday or Sunday is when they're gonna play the last game, and see if he ends up leaving, because that'll be the end of an era again. Yeah. Like he had his big era in Barcelona, big era in Man City, and we'll see where he's off to next.
We sure will.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I think that about does it for us today's episode. Mario, I'm so glad to have you back, buddy.
Glad to be back.
No shade to Mr. Leo. It was great.
Thank you,
Just
Mr.
different.
Leo.
Have the OG back. But thanks for joining us. Really appreciate being part of your day, talking soccer and hanging out. Remember, find us on Instagram and X at _Pitch Report, and then YouTube it's at Pitch Report Pod. A little bit different for both of them. But thanks for joining us. I'm Mario. I'm Mario. Oh man, I'm rusty. That's what I am.
No, let's do it. I'm Amilcar.
Thank you.
Bye. It's your Starbucks.